the lens of your perception that you developed never goes away. You always look through the same perception you developed in your process of how you process things. So get this, success is a pattern. The more I realize it on a personal wealth journey that I'm kind of just been on all my life really, and wealth meaning not just monetary success, but success spiritually, physically, and emotionally, and relationship wise with people around me. It's really a journey because it's a pattern, because successful people have different patterns than people who aren't successful. You're going to be good at, you're going to get better at what you're good at. And some of you are good at making bad decisions. You're very good at that. Now, bad being just an opinion and subjective, let's take that out. You're good at making decisions that are counterproductive to your goals and your desired outcomes. If it's not getting you closer to where you would like to be and desire, then you're making bad decisions. So that's bad in the sense of it's working, you're working against yourself. So that's not a good thing ever. I think you would agree, if you're working against yourself, then you're kind of headed towards self-destruction. So let's say that you want to be successful, then you want to pick up new patterns from people who are already successful and like you, and to the point that you've developed your own patterns, because you're taking a little bit of this, you're taking a little bit of that, and you're borrowing knowledge and experience from various resources around you. I like to have what you call cyber mentors. I have not met a lot of the people that I look up to, and it's very limited. It's about 2 or 3 people. I won't tell you who they are now, but it's about 2 or 3 people. Of course, I've met people in my immediate life that I've had relationships with, insofar as having a mentor, and I'm kind of out of that phase. But the people that I do look up to, I haven't met yet. There's some questions that I need to ask, and there's some answers that I need to get, because there are just a few gaps in the bridges of my understanding towards certain things in my particular goals. So it's all comes down to pattern, you know. That's the more I realize that, and I've always realized that because I've been in the neuro-linguistic programming for a while. But I would often read stuff and listen to things I didn't understand if it felt right to my spirit, because I knew one day it would make sense if it felt right in the first place. If it didn't, I would just tune it out, or I'd forget about it. But the things that felt right, according to me, they never went away. And later on, they proved themselves to be right. Those feelings, those magical glimpses of intuition you get sometimes. So it really boils down to the pattern. What made me make this video is the point in my life. I'm in a transition period between a few big things. And I know not everybody can hang. Once you elevate, a lot of people that can't get up to your level, they kind of X themselves out, I like to call it. You don't necessarily have to cut people out. They do that for you. So you don't have to worry about that. Just don't cut yourself out. And it comes from a lot of place of growing pains and a lot of wanting and not enough doing, and changing the language around, because we're using language in a way that we may not be understanding how we're using it. What we use may mean something different to us, but the majority of the world sees a particular word, phrase, or saying, and they categorize that to the normal meaning of what it may mean to the mass majority of society. So you're getting a reflection of energy that you may not know about, because you're putting out words and languages, creating an intention from an intention. Because if you use a word like let's say I'm just throwing something out there coming from the top of my head. Let's say you call somebody lazy, right? And maybe lazy to you doesn't mean a sloth or somebody lethargic on the couch just watching their roommates go to work every day while they play video games and eat pizza crust. Lazy may mean to you the person is not doing all that they're capable of doing. That can be you're lazy, not just the definition we describe. That can literally be your definition of lazy, what we just said now. And somebody may take that and get offended. Did you call me lazy? Like, no, I'm just saying you're not living up to your capability. You're working hard, but I see something in you that that you're not utilizing, a talent, a gift that you're not utilizing. And let's say their category, the way they categorize lazy in their brain is a loser. You're not doing anything. You're not bringing in any kind of anything, doing nothing special, and you offend them, and that leads to a broken relationship. That's one example. Linguistics differ in us all, but being conscious of how most of society using language are coming from different points of views, but a lot oftentimes the same. That's why when people get on YouTube and somebody gives a speech, maybe something like this that makes complete logical sense to you, complete logical sense, completely, and somebody always disagrees because they're coming from a perspective that you're foreign to. They grew up differently, they process information differently because the environment that they grew up in, environment meaning not only just physically what's around you, but your relationships and interpersonal relationships around you, cause you to develop differently. And it's different than you. We're all different at the end of the day. We're all different in some aspect, no matter how much of the same we appear to be. We often do a lot of the same things, but it's the reasons that make us different. Why are we doing that thing? It can be different than what it appears to be. So I'm urging people really to change the language that they're using. You know, the more successful people that I see, the more I'm seeing through life. I mean, there's a clear dichotomy of, there's a clear difference in dichotomy of thinking. It's not the same. It's not the same. And don't fool yourself in saying it is, because it's not. People who are people that have things that you don't, that you want to have, are not talking like you. They're speaking differently. And it's because they learned along the way. They had to speak a certain way to get the certain results that they wanted. If you're not doing the certain things, then you're not going to get those certain results that you want. You're not going to fall into success. You have to walk into it. And if you do fall into success, you may not maintain it because you don't know how you got there. So I'm urging you to upgrade your language. Maybe not vocabulary wise, but be wise with the words that you do choose, because they can determine your fate. The tongue speaks life and death. Facts.